Folks, Dune 2 is one of the greatest movies of all time. I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it. It is one of the best movies I've ever watched in my life. That's it. I have nothing else to say about it other than it was so good. Like Gladiator, one of the best movies ever made, right? I think that's not even like up for contest. I think a lot of people pretty much agree on that. Like it's a perfect movie in many ways. This is up there. It's so good. Every part of it is so good. I'm not going to spoil it. All I'm going to say, I'm just going to keep repeating the same shit over and over again. That it's insane. It's insane. It's insanely good. The movie is like spoiling it is ridiculous. You can't, like, it is a visual feast. I cannot spoil some of the most excellent parts of this movie, even if I tried, because you have to eat it with your eyes. Okay. You have to feel it with your ears. It is a mother masterpiece. Yeah, spoiler alert. There are giant sandworms. Are you going to do a rewatch of it? Probably. Austin Butler was out of control in the movie. He was really good. Every part of this is great. Every part of the movie is great. HasanAbi, shouts out to the HasanAbi doctrine. That's all I'm going to say. It's not a spoiler. You have no idea what the I'm talking about. But it's just like favorite scene / moments. Every moment of it. I will tell you this much. This is a 2 hour and 46 minute runtime movie. A lot of people nowadays, and I've had this conversation with like actors. I've had this conversation with Twitch streamers. I've had this conversation with normal people with normal jobs. And what I hear from them so frequently, I think, is that TikTok broke their brains and they're like, oh, I can't sit through 2 hours and 45 minutes. Like that's too long, which is sometimes valid. There are movies that are way too long. Shouts out to Martin Scorsese. He does his very best to make the movie watching experience a little bit painful for you. He's like, I'm the GOAT. I'm going to make you fucking sit here and you're going to have to watch through this sequence that didn't have to be there. Okay, I'm going to shoot the shit out of it and they're going to act the shit out of that. But you're going to have to sit there for 3 hours, right? Dune, on the other hand, 2 hours and 46 minutes runtime, which is not like super long, but definitely very long for, you know, our brain broken, TikTok infused Zoomer adolescent minds, right? Our attention span is not great. Not a single dull moment. This man, this Quebecois legend, Denis Villeneuve, okay? That's how much I respect him now. That I'm like not even making fun of Quebec. Think about that. Took the first movie, which definitely had slow moments. Unless you were already invested in the IP, you were probably gonna be like, what the fuck am I watching in certain moments? For the adolescent mind that I just described. Denis Villeneuve. Sorry, I said it wrong. I was trying to say it right, but I'm saying it right. Denis Villeneuve. He took the first movie, as far as like pacing and as far as like the way that like he set out the first story to like lay down the basics of the plot, and he was just like, this time it's gonna be very different. I'm gonna now take you on a journey. It's like a roller coaster ride when you're going up and you're building the intensity, but the drop never comes. And then, oh my Lord, all of a sudden the second movie is just the ride down the entire time. That's the best way I can describe it for you. If you were like, oh man, the first one was kind of slow, I don't know what's going on. Very different as far as pacing goes. Very different as far as like wall to wall. So much action, so much intensity. Every part of it is phenomenal. The first one is not ass, by the way, for people saying that. I love the first one. Like if the first one's like a 9, this is an 11 out of 10. I'm talking about Dune 2. It's really a critique of the white savior narrative, not a celebration of it, at least in my opinion. Yes. I don't care about all of the assessment that people are applying to 60-year-old IP that is like really formative and instructive in like IP that came after it, that has a much larger overarching message that most people are not comprehending, and immediately pointing to what the exact kind of messaging you see in movies like this. A lot of people are critiquing what they've seen so far and applying the standards that they have seen in other movies and in other works of art in the Western world. If you look at this from like a white supremacist, specifically like a white supremacist framework, you're just gonna miss out on the much larger. Frank Herbert, the author, described the pacing at coital, building up until a sudden climax. Yeah, it's everything that you think is going on will change your mind. Not after this movie, though. Not after this movie, because at the end of this movie, you're kind of gonna maybe realize this is not a white savior movie, but what comes after this is going to genuinely change your perspective on that. But overall, the movie, or the books, sorry, the Dune books are actually about deleted by Fossabot. Damn, why did that message got deleted? That's a bummer. Brother, it's because you wrote a long ass message and Fossabot timed you out and literally said, your message is too long, keep it under 450 characters. Because you wrote a goddamn essay on Bob Marley, One Love. Ben Shapiro called it pro-life. Ben Shapiro is so stupid. That's awesome. I watched the entire movie without checking my phone once. Zendaya was sexy as ever. Me and my homies were yelling Lisan Al Gaib on the way out of the theater. Even the whites were yelling that, and we were ready to say the Shahada. Yeah. There is, I am reaffirmed in my position that there's nothing more powerful than a dude. There's nothing more powerful than a white guy who just is like really into Arab culture and and is like very invested in utilizing Arab culture in his in his work of art. Okay. And I love the people being like, Frank Herbert is a libertarian homophobe. I don't care, man. I don't care. Did you write Dune? Okay, did you write Dune? No, shut up. You're pathetic little worm over here being like, he's homophobic. Yeah, bitch, he was alive doing blow in the 60s and 70s. I don't care. That's what you sound like. That's what you sound like. This dude is dead, okay? Go find his grave then, okay? Go take it up with him. I don't care. Take it up with God. Also, it's so funny because like Dune unironically reads in every sense of the fucking word as a formative anti-colonialist, anti-imperialist, maybe anti-capitalist even, if you want to go that far. I would say I would go that far. Anti-messiah, anti-state control, anti-religion, anti-every, like literally leftists are supposed to like this shit. How the did you dupe yourself into finding one reason why you hate this guy who died already? It's literally a formative work about environmentalism and like doing, eco-terrorism and why it becomes a necessity. Leftists will look at Karl Marx and be like, yeah, Das Kapital is one thing, sweaty, but I heard Engels was, I heard Engels at a factory, I found out, and that's kind of up. Did you know that? You fucking with Shogun, gang? Oh my God, I am fucking with Shogun. I'm eating, dude. I'm eating so much. We got we got Shogun on the one hand, we got Dune 2 on the other hand. Quirked up white boys in areas, in environments they're not supposed to be in has never been higher. The stock for quirked up white boys hanging out with the locals has never been higher. Do you understand? Tokyo Vice, but that one's like kind of mid in comparison to all the other stuff that I mentioned, so I don't really talk about it, even though I am watching and I'm enjoying it because I'm like a weeb. But it's about oil and the greed that comes with oil and ensuing slavery and war and corruption that comes with oil. I mean, that's like the most reductive way to read it too. Like it is impossible for you to watch Dune and be like, this is not leftist. I am more leftist than Dune. Like I've seen like a lot of people. My mom was like talking to me about Orientalism and I'm like, yeah, it's a white guy from Tacoma. Of course he doesn't fully grasp like Arab culture. He's just kind of obsessed with it though. Like, yeah, it's a white dude from Tacoma that wrote the work. Obviously it's not going to be like your mom is lived the up. Well, yes, but also on top of that, this is her literal specialty. Orientalism is like this is what she wrote her dissertation on. So this is kind of in her wheelhouse. Well, tell her to read the books and see what the plot goes. See what she would like to think. Orientalism, she wrote about Asians. Bro, media literacy, we need just literacy, dog. Like we just need literacy in general. Orientals, is that what you're talking about? Them Asians? Yes, it is. I don't know if you know this, but Orientalism is a very broad swath of Asia, which does feature the Middle East. One of the most important works of Orientalism is written by a guy who's Palestinian. His name is Edward Said. Kind of where that whole stuff comes from. It's a lot of Orientalism it revolves around the way that the West perceived Middle Easterners. But anyway, whatever, it's fine. What do you mean, Orientals? Your mom wrote about Asia? Your mom wrote about... What kind of Chinese is your mom? Is she Japanese or is she Chinese? But even though Orientalism is kind of esoteric, he's borrowing from the Bedouin tribe in Saudi Arabia, which believes a certain level of mysticism. There was actually a small revolt in Saudi during the 70s where a dude from the tribe took over mosques in Medina and called himself the Mahdi. I mean, a lot of those concepts are far beyond just like that brief moment in time that you're talking about. But yeah, what did you think of the acting? It's great, dude. Javier Bardem is my fucking goat. Do you understand? He was, dude. His enthusiasm throughout the movie kept me locked in. I was a believer. Okay. I was a believer in the Muad'Dib. I was Lisan al-Ghaib. I was locked in on their religion. Okay. I was a fundamentalist in the South. Don't spoil, please. I'm not spoiling shit. What did you think of Mother? She was mothering. Every part of the movie was incredible. Austin Butler was incredible. God damn, dude. What a role, dude. He acted the shit out of that role. I always have a hard time not comparing. Yeah, Batista was great too. I have a hard time not comparing this to David Lynch, which is like his worst work, obviously, and he's like deeply embarrassed by it. His original Dune, which was a devastation. But it's pretty funny to think about like Sting playing this role, and then you look at like the way that Austin Butler plays it, and you're like, dude, what the no, it's goated. No, I like it. I like Lynch's Dune, except you have to remember, like, he hates that movie. It's his least favorite movie that he's ever done. So much so that he literally took himself off the credits of the movie that he made, and also has used pseudonyms, like swapped out his name for pseudonyms in some of the later releases. Have you read the books at all? I read the first book halfway through and then stopped because I didn't have time. What's up with people wanting to protest Dune due to Palestine? I don't know. I think maybe because like Timothée Chalamet, I guess, like, is he a Zionist or something? I don't know. Dude, I don't know. It's because of the SNL sketch. Oh my God, shut the up. Okay, whatever. He made a Hamas joke on it. That's it. That's the reason. They say it mocks Muslim culture. Bro, I'm sorry. The Fremen takedowns are literally Al-Qassam brigade trick shots on IDF tanks, dude. It is a 1-to-1 comparison. The f do you mean? It's literally the story, at least up until now, is basically the story up until now is basically if like Hamas are the good guys and they got like a Jewish former Zionist guy to join them. Like, what do you mean? And now the guy is like the leading anti-Zionist Hamas guy. What the f? A lot of the inspiration was the Algerian anti-colonial efforts against the French. Oh my God. That would be a sick film. Yeah, go watch Dune 2 then, because that's the movie. I kept literally turning to Will every time they would like blow up a tanker or something, and I was like, dude, look. That's like that. That's like the trick shots, dude. I do that to my brother too. He probably hates it. No, Will is such a ginormous Dune nerd that he kept butting in to explain stuff, but it was fine. Man removed from Dune 2 screening for bad chesting too hard. Bro, I was literally, I was losing my mind. I was shaking. Okay. It was so good. It was so good. There's a moment in the movie when I'll just say, like, he pops off. Timothée Chalamet pops off. There's like a change. That's all I'm going to say. No spoilers. And like, he just starts rattling off information. And I almost stood up myself. There's a couple moments actually. Oh my God. The writing moment is insane. Yeah, I was like, Lisan al-Ghaib. Yeah, it's fucking fire. Full timeline of the Dune universe, the 34,000 years. Okay, you want to know what I love? You guys know I love one thing and one thing more than anything else, and that is world building. And Frank Herbert, for all intents and purposes, cared more about world building than he did about like a streamlined process or like a starting point and a finishing point, as far as I understand it. And I'm like not the biggest expert on this. There's probably a shit ton more like nerds in the chat that have like really invested a lot of time into like understanding Dune. But I do personally love I do genuinely love the ideas, like the world that he created. The only thing I guess I'll say in comparison to the original work that I don't really understand why they made a deliberate effort not to include, and I was talking with Nandre and Will about this last night. I don't know why they didn't. Will brought it up. Will brought up the Space Guild and how like there isn't any Space Guild mentions in it, like rarely, and there is no like Butlerian jihad, which I think is probably the most important, most pivotal event. And I think that like they barely talk about that. And it's like really interesting. That happened centuries prior. I know, but they don't even like, they rarely mention it. You know what I mean? Like it should come up in a story to basically explain like what happened to the audience. I mean, do you think they're going to cover the entire book series in movie form? I hope. As an Arab, some of the butchered Arabic took me out of it. Lisan al-Ghaib is based on Alsan al-Gharib, which means stranger's tongue or voice from the outer world in Dune lore. Yeah, it's definitely a white dude that is like really invested in like Islam and Muslim culture. And it's obvious. I don't give a I mean, bro, Zendaya's secret name is Siyahi, which means black in Turkish, and I suspect in Arabic as well, right? Like that's, yeah, Siyaha is like, I mean, maybe it means something different in Arabic, but in Farsi it means black. In Turkish it means black. Maybe not in Arabic, but Siyah means black in Farsi too. Stop making Dune woke. Yeah. Yeah, he was the original Arabu, straight up. Frank Herbert was an Arabu, which is cool. It's cool because like it's a concept that like you can tap into. It's like there's so much deep lore there that instead of like recycling IP, like that's an area that, and like any kind of indigenous culture or African cultures that you could dive into would immediately genuinely make different kinds of IP across the board, because we've seen so many of the same genre over and over and over again. So Frank is like Lawrence of Arabia, who became an Arabu during World War I. Was Herbert a leftist? I don't think he was a leftist, but there are definitely concepts that he was on board with that were perfectly aligned with the left. He's a bit more of like he's got like weird takes on certain things. I mean, he was like a libertarian guy, but so was the cyberpunk guy. Chat, I don't know if you guys know this, but like the dude who made Cyberpunk, like the board game originally, is, as far as I understand, also like a libertarian dude as well. So is James Clavell, who wrote Shogun. I personally don't care. I only care about whether it is good or not. Herbert was actually a righty. What you read as anti-capitalism, he discussed as being against government intervention and extraction. Lamau. If you write space Islam, you're allowed a little libertarianism as a treat. Yeah. It's funny because like a lot of these dudes that are libertarian inherently end up arriving at like the conclusions that you have arrived at as well, but their pathway is different and their fundamentals are different. But given the nature of art, you can interpret it differently than the way that they originally intended. And I think like Cyberpunk's a great example of this. Dune is a great example of this as well. Like it doesn't really matter at that point. It like leaves your hands, and then the world sees it in a dramatically different ways, especially because like there are a lot of the same principles there. You know what I mean? It's like, don't kill people for oil. Don't extract natural resources and like destroy the planet. Like that inherently is a good concept. It doesn't matter if it's a libertarian saying it. It doesn't matter who the saying it. You know what I mean? That is the most important principle in the franchise in and of itself. Libertarians never say that. Well, Frank Herbert is, as far as I understand, a libertarian who is like, it did say that. So also there's a open world MMO Dune, as you guys know, that they're working on as well. And I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but more importantly, the director has an anti-capitalist streak in him. Except beyond being anti-capitalist, he's a Quebecois, which means he knows the plight of colonized peoples. That's right. I am literally Denis Villeneuve has caused me to be pro-Quebec separation, okay? Is this true? Really enjoyed Dune Part 2. I knew all the spoilers because I read the Quran as a child. This is a Turkish person, Ege Elbir. But Villeneuve managed to bring that Quebecois charm to it. Oh my God, I was joking about this, but he literally, oh my God, he said this. When you do something as an artist, you're always thinking about your hometown. Laughter. So yeah, I think I will say when I'm thinking about the Fremen, I'm thinking about French Canadians, the idea of alienation of the religion, the idea that a population is under the control of the church and that the church is linked with the politics. And that for many years we didn't. The French Canadian did not. They didn't have any economical power and were under the control of the church and submitted to this. Oh my God. He did it. He did the damn thing. He did the damn thing. I was literally joking about like how I was joking around about how like, of course, leave it up to a Quebecer to truly understand the plight of colonized peoples. And he's like, no, I do actually, because I am Quebecer and we are colonized. That's so sick. Listen. As far as I understand, there were a lot of issues with the mistreatment of Quebecers in Canada. Okay, like French Canadians in Canada for a while. But like, as far as I understand, it never came near the like Algerian, the colonial occupation of Algeria. Okay, which is why I always laugh about it, because like it's two settler colonial people fighting against one another on territory that they don't, you know, that they dominated over the indigenous population. Nobody in Quebec says it came near that. No, I know, but the vibes for a lot of like separatists nowadays is, especially when like things are so much better for francophone people, there are still people who like ride that. Yeah, it wasn't the same, and it ended around 1960 with Quiet Revolution, but to be fair, 1920 to 1960 was a hard time. That's why I joke about it, but Denis Villeneuve has changed my framework entirely. I believe that the Bloc Québécois is right. I believe that Quebec must be separated from the rest of the colonial Canada. They have no right. And I believe that, yes, the mistreatment of Quebecers is exactly like chattel slavery and also the ethnic cleansing of an indigenous population, which maybe the French are indigenous to Canada. Have you ever thought about that? The Fremen are the French. Yep. Sorry, you make a movie like Dune 2, I'm riding for whatever unholy opinion you have. Okay, free the French Canadians, baby. I'm going in. Yeah. Fremen is short for Frenchman. Yep. So anyway, as far as Dune stuff goes though, like I said, it's so incredible. What do you think about Dune using Arab culture without even having any Arab actors in the movie? First of all, did they really not have any Arab actors in the movie? Because the Fremen all look literally straight North African. Like, it's just where did this come from? The idea that there's no Arab actors in the movie. Is there actually no Arab actors in the movie? Because those motherfuckers look Arab as hell, dude. Not Javier Bardem, obviously, but like, I'd be shocked. They're Italian, not Arab. I mean, it's the same shit. No Arab actors with big roles, which I think is a fair complaint. Yeah, guys, don't watch the Lynch one then. if you think there isn't enough diversity in this one, let me tell you. If you think there isn't enough diversity in this one, go watch the David Lynch one. See how that looks. Oh, Jesus Christ. They got Sting in that one. Well, he was playing the role of I thought we were boycotting this movie. Who is this we, motherfucker? Are you French Canadian? We? What do you mean we? Who is we? Who was boycotting as we this movie? Because I was not a part of the we.
I'll say it again. We're going to make Arrakis great again. Paul Atreides, everyone. Paul Atreides. Muad'Dib, he said to me. Muad'Dib, I'm just a little desert mouse. We can't lose, folks. We've got the Bene Gesserit. They're very fair. They're very fair to me. And I've...
That's awesome. The Amazigh Berber Fremen. What? Javier Bardem called genocide for what Israel was doing in 2014. Yeah. No, the Villeneuve and Javier Bardem and everyone else is like pretty fucking pretty woke overall, regardless. And I think like the Timothée Chalamet memes come, I think, from him like doing if it's actually just him doing the SNL skit, I'm gonna lose my mind. Has he even said anything? Yeah, Javier Bardem. I can dedicate my life to that man. He is so good. He's so sick. I love him. I love him a lot. He is father. I don't know what it is. He has incredible vibes. He transformed into my Arab uncle somehow. Yeah, that's why he's so funny, because people are like, there's no Arab people in the movie. If you watch the movie, Timothy has not said anything. Wore pro-Palestinian clothes. It is all the SNL joke that he didn't write. People just hate beautiful twinks. That's one of the funniest parts about Timothée Chalamet is that like I feel like this is controversial, but I don't think he's like he has like a weird facial structure. I don't know how else to describe it. It works on him, but honestly, his face is kind of odd. Like I don't know. He's not my type, because I'm not into the waifish twink. He is very cool in the movie though. Overall, he's super cool. Bro, dude, movies are back. Movies are so back. The movies are so back. It's so dope. It's so dope. HasanAbi, cute girl I recently started dating is boycotting Dune 2 over the Timothée Chalamet SNL skits, so now I'm boycotting it too. Okay. Hey, listen. I'm with you there, brother. You know, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. The left is so bad at propaganda. Explaining to people how the themes of Dune are anti-colonialism is much better than crying about Timothy or Orientalism. I know. It kind of makes me sad that we're so clueless and delusional about like doing good propaganda, because a big part of like being a leftist is about showing everyone you're morally superior. And the only way that you can show someone you're morally superior is that like the whatever the cultural garbage that everyone is consuming, you're above that. And you're above that for like obvious, you know, for reasons that are not obvious to the average person. And it makes me very angry. It makes me very upset. It's just like, what are you interested in? Just complaining? Or do you want to like actually legitimately utilize the tremendous amount of propaganda readily available to you and massage a narrative into that is like literally in the movie itself? Because conservatives will literally look at a movie and be like, it's not woke, and that's why it did really well. And everyone goes, that's right. They will look at actually woke movies and be like, that's not woke, and that's why it popped off. And all their dumb bitches in the audience go, yeah, that's right. Hell yeah, brother. Meanwhile, you have like genuine gifts given to you by Hollywood to be able to do like a little bit of propaganda on like a incredibly popular IP, and you just go, it's not good enough for me. Like, shut the up. Even if you're not gonna do propaganda over something, because like not everyone is a propagandist in the same way that I am, like just enjoy things. Who cares? Just enjoy shit. Conservatives are saying SNL isn't woke anymore because of Sydney Sweeney's boobies. You're damn right it isn't. No, I won't enjoy it. Yeah, it's just like leftism is just like being a socialist is a poverty cult, a self-imposed poverty cult. You have to live an ascetic lifestyle. On top of that, you also literally cannot enjoy things, because enjoying things is bourgeois decadence. Enjoying things is counter-revolutionary behavior, okay? It's like sex under patriarchy is always sexual assault. And you can't enjoy that either, because if you're doing that, then you are a willing participant in sexual assault, because it's a patriarchal construct. So women do not have full-blown equality to men and cannot make the autonomous choices that you normally would have in a true full-blown feminist environment. Same goes for movies. Capitalism is a hellish, nightmarish dystopia. So if you enjoy any kind of art, if you have a brief moment of solace in all of this death and destruction, in a sea of sadness, in a sea of exploitation, if you have a singular moment of actual happiness that you derive from a work of art, well, then you are engaging in counter-revolutionary behavior. You are engaging in bourgeois revolutionary behavior. Bourgeois immoral acts, okay? I quite literally realized I started not enjoying things when my brain was trying to wire every little possible wrong some piece of content or media had. Left the seriously need to learn just to have fun and enjoy stuff sometimes. That is one of my biggest differences, I think, than a big chunk of the online left is like, I always have been first and foremost, have fun, be normal. Number one, be normal, be normal. Number two, have fun. You can have fun. It's okay. Like, it's not going to kill you. Yeah, I'm a big fan of fun maxing. What if people are just too depressed about the genocide to go out and have fun? Bro, that's okay, dude, you did it. You are the most moral guy. You arrived at it. Okay, don't have fun. Okay, you need to work on yourself. I am literally the Muad'Dib. Okay, I am the desert rat. I am the North Star that will lead you in the right direction. Do you understand? The Mahdi is here. I will teach you the ways. Be normal. Be normal. Enjoy things and let people enjoy things. Yeah, motherfucker, sit there and be like, listen, dude, I did my part today, okay, for the revolutionary cause. I sat there and doom scrolled on Twitter and got angry. Hasan, have you read the books? I have not. I only read the first one, and I didn't finish it, but I think I am going to. Mass consumption is a cancer on the planet. Stop spending on exploitative corporation. You are literally on Twitch. You are on Twitch. It's an Amazon corporation. This is owned by Amazon. Your form of entertainment is coming from Amazon, from Jeff Bezos directly. I'm serving you a 3-minute ad break where you are going to see ads. If you don't want to see those ads, you are going to have to subscribe to me. There is a reason why people say there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. Can we be honest and say that the Fremen are literally not Arabs and a made-up space race? So what the I mean, it is. It is actually a made-up space race. It's just tailored heavily off of the indigenous people that I think Herbert knew personally in Tacoma, and also off of very clearly Arab tribes like Amazigh, Berber, and just like a collection of like whatever the he as a white boy, as a swagged out white boy in the 60s thought of Islam. But yeah, Dune 2 was sick, and I high-key recommend it highly. It's so good. Do yourself a treat and enjoy it. It is a delectable, delightful experience from wall to wall. Like, every aspect of it is high intensity, high octave. Octane? Or is it octave? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. It is so good. And that's why I haven't even given you any spoilers, because it's so goddamn good. I want to meme about it. High octane. It's beautiful. It is a feast for your eyes. How is it compared to the first, if you didn't say already? It took, like, in my opinion, I love the first movie, but I also understand how, like, a mass audience is going to receive the first movie. I thought the first movie was a little slow for, like, the average normie who's never been interested in it. Like, it is not a substitute for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And unfortunately, many people are looking for something like that. However, the second movie clears that up entirely. The second movie is just like every moment is intense. You are going to be at the edge of your seat throughout the entire journey. It makes no sense to compare the two. They're both parts of the same whole. The way I explain it is like, if it's a roller coaster, the first movie is basically going up to the top. So it's intense, it's thrilling, but it's like going to the peak. And then the second movie is just the drop. You're just dropping the entire time. You're like, oh, your face is melting. I haven't felt like this watching a movie in a while, dude. Maybe it's because I went with the boys, but I was riled up. I was value-tained, yes. Oh, that's actually a good comparison too. Yeah, watching Blade Runner 2049 in terms of pacing, Dune 1 was a little bit like that. Anyway, well, Dune in and of itself also is like a phenomenal IP to work off of too. It's incredible IP to work off of because it's really good world building. Because like there was a moment that I also recognized at the end of the movie, but I'm not even going to talk about it. But no spoiler alert. Like, the little things that you see play so perfectly into like the world building. Like, for example, on the Harkonnen planet, like the fireworks are liquid and everything is black and white because the sun is black. So like, but then if you go indoors or at night, you actually see color, and that's incredible. Like, it's such a major way of getting you invested in the world and believing in the world in a way that doesn't actually like serve it to you hardcore. It's so awesome. That was all filmed in infrared instead of true black and white. So cool. Oh God. Show don't tell, just good filmmaking right there. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of minor stuff like that that plays a major role, that is all undertones and subtext and not just like directly serving it to you. In many ways, movies like this are obviously blockbuster massive productions with MCU budgets, and it does the exact opposite of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe does, which is show don't tell. Marvel Cinematic Universe is always like tell, maybe don't even show, just tell. And it's incredible. Like the liquid fireworks. I loved it. I loved the liquid fireworks. Like, it's so sick. It's so different. It's so unique. And it's such a minor thing. It's very sick. Oh. Anyway, the planet is so industrialized and polluted the visible light can't reach the surface, so they film with an infrared camera. Dune 2 had half the budget of Endgame. Well, I see why it's like relatively low budget in comparison to like MCU shit, because it is literally, it's just sand, dog. It's just sand. So much sand. It's just sand for all your eyes can see.
Much later.
I had family dinner last night. Which Dune figurine do you have back there? So Cutie Cinderella got this because she had a Dune sponsorship and they sent her this figurine, and also the figurine with Timothée Chalamet. Will, she was going to give it to Will because she was like, oh, Will, I know you're a big fan. I was like, what the f***? I'm a huge Dune fan. That's crazy. So I stole one of them from Will. Will was like, listen, bud, I'll leave you one of these. And he left me with not Timothée Chalamet, but the Chani figure, Zendaya. That's right. Here, let's crack this bad boy open. Do you talk politics with your family? Yes, literally nonstop. Non-freaking stop, dude. Don't open it. Yes, I am. The resale value is gone after this. Honestly, it's like this one is kind of as in the packaging. The figurine is not. The figurine is dope, but the packaging was kind of so I don't really care about taking it out. Anyway, figurine's cool though. Here it is, Zendaya. Do you play with your toys in the tub while you bathe? I do. I play with my Steam Deck.